Okay, now that we have some content or some artifacts posted in our journals, let me kind of show you how we've used Google Sites and this journal feature, this announcements, to make an e-portfolio. You can see this is our last post. Here's the post before that. You can see they're organized in chronological order. Now, notice each one of these posts has its own link. So if I click on that, you can see it has its own link. If I go back, this is the link to the journal, but each one of these posts has its own link. And that's important to notice. And I'll show you why. Now remember, on this particular template, go back to home, we decided to organize this e-portfolio by first year studies objectives. And let's just say, for example, communication was one of them. So I'm going to click on the communication. And this is where I'm going to start listing some of my examples. So let me go back to the journal. Sometimes it helps to have two different tabs opened up. And I'm going to find some journal posts that gives a reader, an advisor, potential employer some examples of my communication skills by, let's use my portfolio paper. So I'm going to copy this, edit. This is just a template language, so I can get rid of that. Paste. Let's make this standard size. And I will grab the code, copy, and link to, okay. And that's one example. Let's go back to my journal and find another example. The video, that's an example of some of my public speaking skills. So I'm gonna, again, copy the title. And what I'm doing here is we're making a list of those individual posts that we may have been reflecting on throughout the semester or throughout the year. And it may not have made sense at the time, but since we're using this journal and this log as a bottom up, where we just log our journal entries, later on we can make sense and organize those artifacts, those journal reflections, into themes and objectives and standards. So for example, this communication, if you want to see some of my examples, you can go see back to those logs. Now that log before made no sense just as a chronological order, but when it's listed, that's where the power of the ePortfolio comes in. Well, there you have it. We've kind of walked you real fast through how you could take a template. This was particularly an ePortfolio template, and use the announcement page to act like a journal to log all your reflections and organize and synthesize them into your learning goals and objectives. Again, this was just a basic intro. I mean, I'd love to talk more, but the video would be go on and on. But spend some time playing around down here, like the Google Docs integration with calendars, presentations, the Google Picasso web slideshow where you can put photos, photo slideshow, Google Maps, you can make forms and surveys, which would be nice to do a contact us or comment form. Some gadgets are fun to play with in there. You can change the formats, insert tables, change the layout, 3 columns, 2 columns, and then here there's a lot of things to play around in here. Subscribing to page changes, print, delete pages, and this one right here, manage site. There's a lot of important stuff in here. If I made a mistake, I could go back to an earlier version. You can't break this thing, so here's past saved changes. Say I want to go back, I didn't like anything I did today, I can go back. This general site has a lot of important stuff. Change the name, change the description. You can't change the address that you chose originally, but you can change some of that stuff. And this is important. Copying this site, publishing this site, deleting this site. changing the sharing settings. So you can see there's a lot of different and advanced things you can do. Uh, but that should be good for now. Now, if you run into any problems, there's three things you can do. You can always go to the help section in Google Sites. It's a very useful forum. 9 times out of 10 you'll find it. You could also just do a regular Google search on what you're getting stuck on. And thirdly, like you're doing here, you're watching the screencast video. If you go onto YouTube and you type in Google Sites tutorial or Google Sites screencast, you'll find hundreds of really good videos on how to do different things, and they're really useful to get quick demos on how to do some advanced features. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had no problem setting up your ePortfolio. If you have any questions or concerns or suggestions, go ahead. I'd like to hear from you by commenting on this video. And don't forget about Googlios.com, where you'll find a lot more information and tutorials and getting started resources. Well, good luck and have fun.